experience today, it was psychologically more free than yesterday. And it was mostly calm, but there are a few things I'm beginning to realize. So I'm both hesitating and going everywhere in the early morning. One part of me wants to interact, like with this person or that person, but they may have other connections, which is good. But another part says for me not to interact with these people due to decision fatigue. There's a lot of people to talk to, and also because they might end up misinterpreting my intent. So something might end up happening. But I realize though is that even though if I break a fear in the morning, even if I go early in the morning to try to talk to people and find a permanent friend group there, I'm not sure if these people even offer it in the first place. I mean, all due to narrative control, misinterpretation, and like high school itself is pretty much cyclic. And if you don't got any people who's permanent or anyone who's inherited from like middle school or someone, I mean, you're just kind of there in the morning. And it gets kind of like a problem, except some other friends, the ones that are local. But the thing is that I'm beginning to ask myself, how many people like me have this scattered the entire morning period and found permanent friend groups? Or I just ask people, talk to people like that, or is this maybe inherited from other places? Is this inherited from outside school? And school is just a place voucher for something like this. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. I don't know. From my time before, I've spent hours and hours, even last year, looking around and talking to people, but they never really seem to offer true permanence in the morning. And in terms of friend groups, like other than like simple interaction, breaking my fear, a lot of the people end up moving around. You guys are talking about friend group rotators, so I'm not really sure if I should stop looking. But if I go way earlier, where there's less people, before 7:30 a.m. or even sooner, maybe I could find a permanent friend group. Maybe I could find someone who's real there, and connect all of my friend groups all the way from during my day. But maybe I'm deceiving myself. Maybe there really isn't many people that are like me in high school. Maybe that they're too opaque, covered by superficiality. They're covered by this or that. They're not going to realize until much later on as they're adults and as they distance themselves from high school. I'm not going to be able to meet them at all, to be honest. But then again, it's not guaranteed. I mean, I'm already expending tons of effort, especially when others have it that easy. It's more rich for my narrative story, and of course, it's more rich for my journey. But I mean, if I'm expending that much effort for a simple permanent friend group, then something else is going on structurally about how high school works, which I'd argue. The thing is, I was regardless of that, I didn't eat breakfast because I had slept so late. Talking about the chicken issue, the emotional issue with my dad, is that I ended up like forgetting about everything. I just woke up at like 6 a.m. in a really terrible, terrible mindset, to be honest. And when I woke up, I forgot to take care of the animals again. But thankfully, my mom took over later on and she did the rest of the job for me. Even then, I still don't like it because the 30 minutes before my first period. 30 minutes before my first period was also unsuccessful. It's a mix of my own hesitancy, tiredness, and also environmental calculation. Like, sure, a group may be welcoming of me during the morning, but they may also have unspoken rules and jokes, so they might end up denying me entry into their friend group. And the issue with that is that in the field test again, we still passed in terms of intent, but in not execution due to my own hesitation. The environment around me, then, and cyclic nature, and how just people keep moving around. And again, these are teens, so if they misinterpret me, then that causes problems anyway. Even then, skipping out of that first period, very interesting. So basically, they had us practice a little bit tidbit of Spanish, so they also clarified something very, very important, especially in a student situation, apparently what the teacher told. So in Spanish, there's a difference between the words el pene and el peine. And the teacher said that time and time again before, there was this one time where the teacher was doing this lesson, maybe reading a book. Then the teacher, one of the students for the given place, and they end up saying, quote unquote, necesito mi pene para peinarse su peno, quote unquote. And if you guys want to know that from my English speakers, the teacher assistant eventually blew out laughing, at least what I heard from the teacher. And what he means is that, what was said and translated is that I need my pen 15 to comb my hair. And, it's too short. You literally cannot do it at all. And, they said like a really funny story about it. But, it's an interesting story. They didn't really speak too much about it, but the teacher did say it out loud as if we were old enough. A pen 15 is a private part, that you shouldn't go out saying that outside at all. But, the boys said it here and there, and the teacher just couldn't stop laughing. Funny stuff. Eventually everything calmed down and we eventually completed an assignment. And yay, good job. Second period, I got that issue again. We were in the gym for a day, and before actual class starts, since people were switching schedules, I wanted to talk to three people. But that same hesitancy and tiredness came back. And even if I were to interact, they may still form some narrative around me. Even if I was to break my fear or see me as weird or misinterpreted, or even deny Frank entry, which is probably the most likely candidate here. Or maybe I could have entered. Maybe I was on low energy, and maybe if I took the risk, maybe it would have happened. But I'm not really sure at this point, to be honest. It also pushes me to question if we know that some of these interactions will be low quality and, the same fear breaking despite, why go anyway? With notes, you obviously connecting to the larger network of high school, but when social noise takes over, in the hesitancy, you just freeze. Like, you know what they're going to do to you. But if we interacted more, I mean, there would be more narrative richness to this day. But that's the thing, though, is that they may still have preemptive judgments. Obviously, time will eventually correct this as these people become adults and eventually learn that, yeah, like we was just chill. We didn't mean anything bad. Anyways, that's still the issue. Third period, not too much. Again, I did like a cool science drawing. I'll post that on my Instagram. We learned about the atmosphere, oxygen, nitrogen cycle at an overview that we're going to learn later on. So that was really good. Fourth period, not too much. We completed notes 19 for day one here. I'm learning about Russia's revolution against Nicholas II and why they left World War I. So it was kind of like a violent revolution, so just barely beginning that. And at lunch, not too much to talk out here. I hung out with the same friend group, so credits if you guys are watching. I asked one of you guys for some apples since, I didn't really eat anything this morning. Again, I keep giving credits to any person that I meet, so big credits to the friend group if you guys are watching this, or if one of you guys are. Thanks for offering me those apples. I absolutely appreciate that. But anyways, this period, we're also doing a group activity on how if all adults were unalived in this high school, and if this high school buildings like came down, like if we know that there's rescuers trying to come, like if we're lost for a few days within the high school rubble, what are we supposed to do? Like as a rule, all of the adults are no longer alive. You know, maybe something earthquake happened, and the thing, and we were stuck. And what would we do? What rules would we put forth until these given rescuers arrive? So that's really, I'm finding it as an interesting activity. I think this is something that's a part of the Lord of the Rings. I think the teacher's going to make us read that next unit or something similar to that. Sixth period, this is obviously my transferred class. It was interesting. We completed a worksheet of using tables. That means four square spaces on a rectangular shape to map linear equations and quadratic equations. And I forgot how to do it, so I just used a super X method, and it worked this time. So yay. And again, after another exploration period, this time I tried to join two clubs again. One was located near the main atrium, and I mean atrium as a substitute for the word quad, or an open air atrium since it's not really inside. I'll call it the main outside atrium, just because I'm gonna try out some new words. And unfortunately, the club wasn't holding meetings today, so I had to leave. The door was already locked, so I don't think there was anyone inside. I went to another one that's also located near the gate, or departure gate. Again, I'm not trying to sound smart here. I'm just testing out like old vocabulary, seeing if it sticks. And there was one open, but the teacher said that they were not there, so I just gave them my name. If the group ever came for a meeting, like after I left, I mean, I'd have the teacher tell them that to them. And overall, this is a failure on my part. Not really. Intent is successful. We're just waiting up for the world to catch up. We're just waiting for the library to open. We're waiting up for the clubs to open back again. People are just coming back from like winter break. So I don't understand why. Even then, as a cost for paying my truth yesterday, you guys know I am speaking like 5 times as calmer here. My throat got sore and I'm getting chills now. I'm cold, but yesterday I paid the cost of telling the tough truth in my emotionally heavy video. So I made it. Time will eventually see if these truths and test them. But I still made it though, but it's just too high of a cost to be honest. Alright, I'm not sick, but like my throat is closed up. Like something's going on here. It's not that type of sickness where you get like the cold or something. It's that when you lie on your bed and you end up sleeping in the wrong direction, especially after you've been speaking in like a video. I mean, eventually something's gonna happen to the throat here. So I mean, I really have nothing else to say. If you guys watch this video, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Love y'all.